The New York Islanders fall 1-0 to the St. Louis Blues in overtime tonight in what can best be described as a snoozer. Wow, boring. That was a snoozer of a game. Not a whole lot of action in that game. Wow. Disappointing, but like I always keep pointing out, our old friend Barry Trotz says you're in the points collecting business, and that's what we are. And basically, 4 points, 4 games, we're 500. Not a bad place to be. We just went on a 3 game road trip. Could be considered a difficult road trip. So 500, I'll live with that. Not happy with it. I thought we'd have a better start than that. I thought uh I thought the Islanders were gonna be a little more dominant this year, but two out of our 4 games we've been shut out, and that's no bueno, as they say, no bueno indeed. So, thanks for Ilya tonight. Ilya was the man, that's for sure. So, yeah, really disappointing because I think the Islanders are a much better team than St. Louis, and I think this is one of those games you should win or you're supposed to win, but it's so weird nowadays. I hate using any of those cliches because it's just not the case anymore. The worst team in the league can beat the best team in the NHL on any given night of the season. So, uh, but still frustrating all the same. But thank you, Ilya, that's for sure. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about the game. What else do I point out? I can't really think of anything other than I think I was a little disappointed how disjointed we were as a team. There was never really any sustained pressure. We didn't and I think we had about 4 open nets tonight that we couldn't kick. We couldn't even get the puck across. Not one out of the 4 of those could we get it across. Like wide open, gaping nets. Like I can't remember who it was. It was Horvat. I think he was like what, 1 foot on top of the crease and shot it wide. I was going like, did Josh Bailey come back and nobody tell me or something? I can't believe it. And it was just, an inch off here and there. The one where Palms had a whole empty net, it went off his skate blade and then just went straight to the post. So a little frustrating, but those were pretty much the only chances we had. We did make some nice plays. We had our moments, but like I said, overall, boring game. But I guess on the road, you want to grab a point on the road, and that's exactly what the Isles accomplished. So. I guess it's a good thing. It's funny. We've got 2 overtime losses, and they're both very dissatisfied feelings, even though I'm happy to take the point, and I won't look back and think, oh, we could have had that second point against them. We take what we can get and add them all up at the end of the year. And that's what we did last year after going to OT, what, 26 times last year? Well, guess what? All our loser points added up and we went in the playoffs. But I so don't want to be that team to add up OT losses to get into the playoffs. I want to be a team that gets 100 points and enters into the playoffs with a week and a half to go in the season. That's what I want to do. So, uh, other than that, there's really not much more to say about the game. Low percentage in power plays tonight. We went 0 for 2 again. Looked rather disjointed. The only time we looked good was the first one, the back end, where the second unit was on the ice, and they didn't look half bad. So, and the PK went 1 for 1 tonight. So that for the third consecutive game, we raised our PK percentage. We went from 0 to 50 to 67, and we're now up to last year's season worst 71%. So at least we're on the upswing. So we've gotten to our one of our lows of all time. So let's just keep pushing that PK up. I mean, basically, it saved us. It got us a point tonight because they had the last power play, and if they had a scored, we would have lost 1-0 or 2-0 with an empty netter. So there was that. Okay, let's talk about the players. Max, let's talk about Sipakov. Definitely his weakest game as an Islander. He kind of a little bit of wear and tear kind of seemed to me on him. It just didn't have the best game. One thing about Max, he's always going to have his little spurts though, in his moments, even in his bad games, and he had a couple of those solid plays. One of them was to get us out of our own end when we'd been hemmed for quite some time, and he was quite calm, cool, collected, and got us out. And he was exhausted at the time, so there's always those little bright tidbits in there. Every player is not going to be up for every game, and I know people think, "Oh my God, well, you're only 4 seasons in or 4 games into the season." But the problem is that, these guys have been playing preseason and that. Now the Owls have been on the road. I don't know if people travel or not, but at the end of travel, you just want to get home. You want to get into your bed. You want to get some home cooking and that, and travel gets to you. And the Islanders had a very successful road trip. So they went 1-1-1 on the road trip, and can't complain about that at all. So definitely not Max's best game, but I wouldn't call it a bad game. He had one bad giveaway, but other than that, uh, one time he tried to skate through in the on the power play. It was just too many, but the whole power play had been discombobulated up to that point anyway, and the puck was bouncing around, and he lost it there. On the good side of the coin, I saw Max, the first time I've ever seen him dump the puck in. So obviously Patrick's been in his ear, and I have full faith that Patrick will get him to where we want him to go as Islander fans. I thought Holmstrom had his best game as an Islander tonight. He was flying out there. He was noticeable, which solid game, solid. It's going to be hard to say anything about all the guys in this game because nobody did anything good. Nobody did anything really egregious. So it's hard to say, well, this guy had a good game and that guy didn't have a good game. Like, do I come down on any defensemen tonight? Like the defensemen didn't give up any goals in regulation. So uh, do I come down on every forward for not scoring tonight, or it's a hard situation. I thought overall Holmstrom had a good game. I thought he was engaged. That's the word I'll use for Holmstrom tonight, and he was noticeable with his speed tonight, carrying the puck a little bit more than he had been in the previous 3 games as well. Same thing about Declare. Declare had his moments. Everybody on the first line had their moments. But nothing good enough to put the puck across the goal line. So frustrating from our top line. They did have their moments. I would have expected them to have more, but there are a lot of times going up against Kyrou and Thomas, and those guys are no slouches either. So that'll stop you. But which is why I thought our second line was probably our strongest tonight, even though the first line didn't play that bad. But I thought the second line excelled because I really think after the top line in St. Louis, they drop off way quicker than the Islanders drop off in talent wise and in depth and that. So anyway, it was a fairly good game by Declare. He's on the ice in the overtime for the goal against, but OT is OT. Matt, I thought he had an excellent game tonight. He was flying all over the place, but not the consistent 60-minute effort that we need, and we need these guys to finish. We need, they made some nice plays out there, and Barzy made a lot of them, but not good enough. It's just not good enough. Like you can be on a power play and you can toss around a puck and throw it around for 2 minutes and can be absolute thing of beauty, but the power play is garbage if you don't shoot. So we need production is basically what I'm saying, Mr. Barzell. So otherwise, good game though. Matt was also on the ice for the OT goal as well. Bo, wow, he had a good game, but man, he missed some big opportunities tonight. He had a lot of, well, I wouldn't say he had about 3 high danger scoring chances tonight, and he didn't convert on any of them. But like I said, the first line they played well. whatnot. I guess how in the first two videos of the season, my word of the day was turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. I guess tonight is just no goals, no goals, no goals. If you don't score, you can't win if you don't score. So uh frustrating night for Bo. I know he'll when he closes his eyes tonight, he'll have a few nightmares going tonight. That one time he was pretty disappointed when he went to the bench. Palms, I thought had an excellent game. Palms has stuck out to me all four games. His board work is amazing. His deceptiveness carrying the puck is excellent. Like I already said a little bit earlier, I thought the second line looked really good tonight, better than the first line. And not that the first line was bad, they just weren't really good, or great, should I say. They were good, they were okay. But second line was better, and Palms was one of the reasons why. And he had a couple opportunities that he didn't get buried either. That we need him as one of our goal scorers to start putting him in. But I feel tonight was just one of those nights, like I said, four open nets that we couldn't somehow slide one of those pucks across the goal line. It happens. That's hockey. Oliver Wahlstrom. Okay, I paid a lot of attention to Wahlstrom tonight because on the message boards I'm on and Twitter and whatnot, I see Wally taking a lot of flack. And I tell you what, he had a bang on good game tonight. I saw him force himself to take a shot, which is something that he's vowed to do. He said he's going to try to take two shots per game, and at a fourth liner, that's about all you can ask. And he only played 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but I was glued to him the entire time he was on the ice. He did nothing wrong defensively. He had no egregious giveaways. He had a scoring chance, one almost leaked through. So good game by Wally. So I don't see by putting Goche or Foodie or anything there was going to make anything different about that line, unless it just makes him a little faster. But then you don't have as much scoring touch talent. So it's you got to weigh your options sometimes, right? Anders Lee, once again, I still think he looks quicker this year, and I'm trying to look at him, and I'm looking at him going, he almost does look leaner in his gear this year. So I'm really wondering if he dropped like 10 pounds from his previous playing weight or something like that, because he has been faster, and he's playing a good Anders Lee game. So. Good for Anders. Not, he's only getting 14 minutes of ice time, and like a third line should, and third line looked good as tonight as well. They did their thing because their third line are more of a shutdown, but you'd like them to be able to score sometimes too, if they can. Some teams use their third line as a shutdown line for the other team's top line. So in that sense, they look good. So yeah, it was a good game from Lee. Brocktober was flying again tonight. Ever since the first two games, Brock is now looks like he's fully engaged, fully engaged. He's flying out there, very noticeable, making things happen. Just frustrating night for all, just nothing clicking, nothing finishing. So, but Brock was very noticeable to me tonight for sure. Let's see who else we talking about. Kyle McLean. Wow, impressive in the faceoff dot. Am I right or am I wrong? Wow, leading the NHL in faceoffs. My last podcast, I said his faceoffs stuck out to me watching, and I didn't know that he was leading the league in faceoff percentage until I found out tonight. And I was like, wow, 71%. There's only two players with 71%. That's impressive. So, yeah, no problem taking over from Casey as center. And Casey was usually around a 53% kind of 53, 55. In his early days, maybe not so good, but in his later years, he was up there in the face-off percentages. So for Kyle to come in and take over that center spot and go at a rate of 71% right now, it is pretty impressive. Well done, Kyle. And then let's talk about Pager. One thing I'll say about Pager, I agree with Butch. Pager looks healthy this year compared to last year. We didn't know how banged up he really was, but he's looking so much better this year, and I'm kind of hoping that he can pop. If he could pop in 15 goals, that would be awesome this year. But might be high expectations from him. But the way he's skating out there, he's looking really good. So I have high hopes. You never know. Might as well be optimistic, right? Sure, why not? Casey, talked a little bit about him. Good game for Casey. Good check-in, skating well. Uh, the fourth line did not do their job in the previous two games. In the previous two games, they were -1, and that will not cut it for the fourth line. The fourth line, a good game for the fourth line is an even. And tonight they were all even, which is a win for the fourth line. So good job, fourth line. Being even for the other three lines, bad on you for not scoring. And someone being a plus. So, but as far as I'm concerned, the fourth line did their job tonight, played an even game. The only, like I said, Casey had like 10 minutes, Wally had 8.5. They didn't get on the ice very much. So for our decor, I thought Mike Riley had his best game of the season. He stuck out a little bit more to me. The one thing I will say right now before I go into each of them is that I seen who did I see? I saw Riley, I saw Pelech, I saw Pullock, and I saw Romanov give four egregious giveaways tonight. None of them ended up hurting us, but like they were just like horrible, horrible giveaways. And there was more giveaways than that, but I'll just say that. But other than that, that's the only negative thing I will say because, and the reason it's the only negative thing I'll say is because basically pitched a shutout tonight. OT to me doesn't really count. So yeah, Mike Riley, I thought had his best game of the year. He's noticeable, more noticeable to me, and it kind of showed in his ice time. He got a little more ice time tonight. He got 15 minutes. So thought he looked real good out there. Like I said, I still think there's more in the tank from Riley. Get a little more engaged in the offense, and maybe that could have made the difference tonight if he becomes a little more get up the ice, Mike. Get up the ice. Use your speed. Get up there. You can do it. Adam Pelech had an amazing night tonight. His defense was out of this world good. He played that well, but it started shaky because he had right at the start of the game, he had two really bad whiffs handling the puck. One didn't get away from us. He got a second chance to go, or another Islander picked up the puck from his whiff. The other one was the turnover, but didn't do anything to hurt us. But other than that, man, the rest of the game he was solid, stellar, great defense, and he was engaged in the offense too, trying to get up there, trying to get shots off and that. So really nice game by Adam. I thought he had a good game last game, but this one was up a little bit from that. So Adam on the rise, that's a good thing. I thought Pullock, excuse me, I thought Pullock had a good game as well. Last game, I said every time he touched the puck, it was like he was handling a grenade. Tonight, he was much better in the offensive zone, or not in the offensive zone, but just handling the puck overall. He was calm, cool, collected. He was skating well, and he was involved and played great defense as well. Noah, much better. Much, much better. This is more the Noah I expect to see. I saw him on the boards one time, just giving the guy the cross check, like, and not the love tapping little thing, like an angry man. And I'm going, yes, Noah, go do it, do it. I didn't even care if he took a penalty. I was just so excited. You could tell there was some aggression in there. He wasn't just doing I'm supposed to do this, right, coach? To make it look like I'm getting physical. But yeah, he was into it. So he was skating and he wasn't turning over the puck. And he was definitely engaged tonight. It was the much better Noah out there. That was the best seeing Noah look this season. So well done, Noah. Noah, 21, 21 and a half minutes ice time tonight. So the lines of Romanov and Dobby and Pollock and Pellick pretty much split even ice time at around 22 and a half minutes. So for both pairs. And Scotty and Riley were in at 15. So I thought Mayfield had another banger game. 15 minutes of ice time. Thought he played everything well. It was great on the PK, really good on the PK. It's one of the reasons we got through that. So well done, Scotty. Really nice game by him, and him and Riley continue to grow as a pair. I just hope they grow to that point where Riley starts taking off more and engaging more like he did last year. I'm wondering why it's not happening, but it's early, right? 4 games into the season, so I'm not going to freak out about it. Another really solid game by Romanov. So the guy is just a solid defensive defenseman, and you love to have a guy on your team like Romanov. He's a fighter. Like I said, he had one really bad giveaway tonight too, but didn't hurt us. But overall, his game was super solid, and you got to be really happy with him for sure. So, Romy came in at 21 and a half minutes tonight. So, yeah, good game by Alexander. And the first star of the night for the New York Islanders, Ilya Sorokin, stopping 29 of 30 shots. Absolutely had no chance on the goal. They had to tick off the goal post and and trickle over the line just to beat him. So, Ilya was stellar tonight. I know the Islanders had more shots than the Blues did. We outshot them 34 to 30, but I thought the high danger was more dangerous, the saves that Ilya was making rather than Huso. Huso would he'd get one shot and done, and then we'd also get to points where we'd have four open nets to shovel into the net, and we don't even get a shot on net. Like, and the puck's only 3 feet from the goal line. So, so, yeah, if it wasn't for Ilya, we wouldn't have got a point tonight. So it's a shame to lose your shutout like that, and yeah, that's terrible. Anyway, so we have to kind of turn this thing around now. We're going home. We're broken in 4 games into the season, gotten rid of the rust and whatnot, but we're going home to play Montreal. And I believe it's Detroit after that. And then we have 2 tough games after that, New Jersey and Florida, I think it is, on back to back on the weekend. So it's going to be important for us to get on our horse and actually win the first 2 games and go a couple of games over 500, and then go into those 2 games against Jersey and Florida and try to win them both. So uh, we're sitting okay. Doesn't look great in the standings right now. It's early. It's not like we're in a bad spot or anything. It's not like we're 0-4 like Colorado. So uh, and I'm sure Colorado will come out of that as well. So, other than that, a disappointing game tonight. I thought got a point. We're in the point collecting business. So, not a bad thing. It was fun to watch Ilya's performance tonight. So, other than that, we got to pick it up for next couple of home games. So, until then, I will see you guys and girls. All take care out there and peace out.